Hello. 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 My beautiful, my beautiful, 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 beautiful kittens, 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 kittens. Today, we got a slightly different video. Slightly different video planned out. You might have guessed from the flag behind me. So, in honor of Trans Awareness Week, my cat's going to eat my flag. Cosmo. Alright. In honor of Trans Awareness Week, I thought I would talk about my top surgery and show that off. I'm gonna be posting pictures of earlier, just what my surgery looked like hours after surgery, along with what it looks like now, 9 months later. So if you're kind of squeamish to blood and stuff, probably not the video for you. I will give warnings before I post up the pictures, so you can just look away if you just want to listen in on the story. This is gonna take a while to edit. But anyways, yeah, so I thought I'd show my chest now. So, warning, here comes my chest. So, this is what it looks like 9 months after surgery. And wow, the slight filter I have on myself make my scars look non-existent. They're a little darker than this in person. So yeah, this is 9 months. I got double incision, as you can see. And I did keep my nipples. That was an option that you could not do. My surgeon was Dr. Gallagher in Miami, Florida. That was a slight issue for me with it being in Florida because I live in Utah, so I had to deal with travel over there, but that wasn't super hard. The hardest part was dealing with the billing because I sent them my insurance and they gave one call, didn't give me any information back, and so I had to pay the full $10,000 on my own without any help from insurance. So yeah, I did have a GoFundMe and get a little bit of help from friends and family, so it wasn't entirely on me, but I had to cover $9,000 of it all on my own. So yeah. So yeah, I had my consultation before I had actually started testosterone because I started it last June, and I had my consultation 2 hours before I went to, before I had my consultation for going on T, and so I was just trying to get everything done and out, and I was so ready to finally transition. I was like, I am 19 and I have been asking my parents to help me transition since I came out at 16 to them. And for me at the time, that was the end of the world. Having to go through high school not being yourself was awful. But yeah, my top surgery. So I had the consultation in June. Dr. Gallagher is amazing. She was so nice to me the whole time. She explained everything, talked me over. She said maybe I was a candidate for keyhole. Obviously, you can tell I wasn't. I would have been, but because I was on birth control before, one of the side effects is growth there, and had significant growth because of the birth control, and so wasn't able to get keyhole because at the time time I was about a C cup. So, yeah, too big for that. Before that, I was like a big A. So yeah, birth control really made them bigger. That was awful. So yeah, and then I got surgery in January. So the whole lead up to, from the consultation to getting surgery, like I was saving up money, I was working a full-time job, like I wasn't spending any of it, like immediately, like I'd get my paycheck and it would go into savings, and that was for surgery. And I was able to afford it when time came around. Luckily, I was like still living with my parents, so it's not like I had to pay rent or anything. I think if I did have to pay rent and stuff, I would not have made it to my goal by January. So then I had a friend come down with me, and we got an Airbnb. And so then I went and got surgery. I wasn't supposed to eat from midnight on, but when I got in on the airport, it was a little bit later than midnight, and I was starving because I did not bring good food with me on the plane, and yeah, it was quite a long flight too. I watched the first season of a show, the flight over, and then the second season flight back. So yeah, then I woke up that morning, and because Florida's 2 hours earlier than I was so jet lagged. It was awful. So in my head, it was 4 a.m. when I was getting surgery, but it was 6 a.m. there. So we got an Uber, drove over, and I waited a little while, and then they came back. They gave me the grippy socks and the different clothes to change into. I preemptively switched out all my piercings to plastic ones, just so, because that's just something that you have to do for surgery. If you have the metal ones in, it could cause complications, like if they have to defibrillate you, and then that could burn you, and don't want that. I didn't have the nose or nipples at the time, obviously. She completely reconstructed my nipples. I used to have inverted nipples, and as now you can see, they are not anymore. So surgery. Go in, they're super nice. They talk me over everything. They confirm, so you're getting double incision. You wanted to keep the nipples correct, and you were thinking to keep a more masculine look, to have the incisions kind of run along the pectorals and do it that way. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want. And perfect, okay. And so then they hooked me up to an IV and got me all ready, and then they wheeled me into a different room, and they're like, okay, just relax. We're gonna have you count back from 10, and you're gonna be put to sleep. And so I started counting back, and they put the mask on me, and I was out. And then I woke up. Surgery was all done. They're like, there was no complications. Everything went well. She told me, come back in on Friday so that I can get the little stitches removed, because there was a little basically stitched on pasty over my nipples to help protect it. They were gonna remove that. It was more to ensure that the nipple did graft and stayed on. So yeah, that night I did take a shower, and I did take pictures of it, or at least I think I took pictures of it. I'll have to go scroll through my Instagram story, because I posted it all there on my personal Instagram. But yeah, I'll post the pictures somewhere over here. But yeah, it's because I had a compression binder on. It was just a little black binder. It was keeping me sealed up. I think it had a zipper in the front. Yeah, it had a zipper in the front. So I went to go take a shower. I was feeling kind of gross. If you've ever gotten surgery, that gross feeling you have. But I was able to take a shower that night. I didn't feel so awful that I couldn't take the shower. I was up and walking around. I honestly felt pretty good, and it wasn't just the pain meds. always had a really high pain tolerance. Yeah, so I've just always had a really high pain tolerance, so it's not like I needed them. And, yeah, so I took the shower. It was really weird when I first took the binder off, though, because, like, it had been compressing me. And so I unzipped it, and I was just gonna unzip it at first just so I could see. Like, I wanted to see the results. Like, I was so excited. And so there was, like, tapes on me, and she said, don't peel those off. Wait for them to fall off on their own. So I did. But yeah, there was, like, tapes on me and the little pasties. And those were also taped. And it wasn't the prettiest sight at first. Like, it was very bloody. And there was some slight bruising going on, but it got so much worse afterwards. But yeah, when I unzipped it, it was like a rush of air came into my lungs because I didn't realize how much it was compressing me. And like I was able to take like this really deep breath, and like I almost passed out. But I was so excited. And I was like, do not pass out. You have already locked the bathroom door, and we do not need to make our friend deal with us passed out in the bathroom hours after surgery. So I like calmed myself down, took some deeper breaths, and then like took some pictures. I was like, oh my god. Like I got top surgery, and it all hit me. I was like, they're gone. Like I finally get to start like enjoying my body and being happy. So that was great. And then like I took the shower and I like avoided my chest area. I kind of like just stood with my back in the water and like tried to figure out how to get clean because like our movement was very limited. I was like, it was not. I'm getting way too warm. Yeah, but it was not working for me. I still have rib pain from always wearing my binders because I wore them way more than the recommended amount of time. Because you're not supposed to wear them for more than like 8 hours a day, and I would wear them from wake up to go to bed, and yeah, so like I got a lot of rib pain, and like my ribs kind of like stick out weird because of it. It's fine. That angle of me sucking it made me look way skinnier than I am. Don't worry, I have meat on my bones. So yeah, then I went in back to her actual like office to get the stitches removed from the nipple pasties. They pulled them off, and they looked so gross. I kept making stupid comparisons of them. I was like, they look like burnt tomatoes or like partially cooked hamburger meat. Like they didn't look pretty. And she told me like don't pick the like little hairs that are sticking out. Those are stitches. Could cause issues. I did pick at them. That's why this one doesn't look as pretty. I can't really tell, but like it's flat up top and then has like underneath. Well, this one's just like full circle out. But it's fine. That was my fault. But yeah, I was feeling great. I stayed in Miami for a week just to make sure I was at a point where I could fly. Of which turns out I could have stayed there less amount of time. She told me I could have gone home like after that Friday appointment, but I wanted to be safe. I wanted to make sure that I felt okay and good enough for that. I took a walk around the beach with my friend. Like I was pretty active and mobile after surgery, and I felt fine about it. And it wasn't, and like I said before, it wasn't the pain meds making me think I was like all confident. I was taking it easy. Like I wasn't like going for a jog. We took a walk, and when I started to feel tired, we're like, okay, let's go back. Let's call an Uber. Let's go back to the B&B. And so we did. And I honestly had a lot of fun just being able to hang out to see them very often. They live on the other side of the country to me, so it was nice seeing them too. There was all sorts of upsides to the surgery. And then I came back home, and things were going pretty well. The tape started to come off. It was like right here that the tape first started to come off, and so I like snipped it because it was getting really itchy. And that was the biggest thing healing, was how itchy everything was, and I wanted to scratch it so bad. My skin's just sensitive to adhesives like my mom's, so that was more what that was, and it was constantly itchy. And I think it was the first 3 weeks, I can't remember exactly how long it was, but yeah, to keep band-aids over these and apply like lotion or like Neosporin to keep them moist so that they didn't like dry out and fall off. Just a very, very common thing with top surgery. It happens to people. They were grafted back on, and sometimes your body just doesn't want to re-accept them, even though they're your skin, your body, whatever. But yeah, healing went pretty well. I bought silicone tapes to put over them, and she was telling me don't buy fancy scar creams or anything. Those don't work. Silicone is what works. And scar massages, where you just kind of massage the scars and really get in there, kind of break up the tissue so it doesn't leave such a like solid scar there. And mine's pretty much healed now. Looks good. It still has a little bit of that like kind of crinkle effect that scars get. Like it crinkles. It's weird. So it's not quite perfect skin yet, but it still looks pretty. A little ways after I got all the tapes off, and they like peeled off on their own for the most part. There was like little bits that like I peeled off myself because it had been long enough that she was like, yeah, you're allowed to take off the tapes at this point, or if they fall out naturally. And I had this issue. You can see how the scar's bigger there, where like a stitch just wasn't dissolving, and it was hard too. It was like a sharp piece of stitching, and it was like not dissolving into my body, and it created this like it was almost infected. I actually think it might have been infected, but I didn't take anything for it. Like I was just being an idiot about it, and a friend told me, I might have to go get the stitch removed. Like it could cause issues, but it was sticking out enough that I just grabbed a pair of tweezers and pulled it out. And like literally the next day, I was totally fine. Like it was no longer pussy. It was no longer gross. Like healed over. And so yeah, now I've just got a bigger weird scar there. But that was like the only complication healing from surgery. And then at 3 months, that's when I got these done. And this one. Honestly, the only reason why I got this one was so that I didn't have to tell my parents that I got these done. Because I was a little embarrassed by it. I was like, how proud of that part. But like, also now I'm showing it on the internet. But yeah, I got these done at about 3 months. Because like, she posts videos on her Instagram and TikTok, and that was how I interpreted it. When she was like, like 3 months after you get feeling back. Yeah. My bad. But I haven't had any complications with them. I don't quite have full feeling back. It's odd. Because like they do this where it's just like a gentle touch on it. And I can't feel that, but like if I put pressure on it, like if I push on it, I can feel it. The way I give a comparison for people is like on your fingernail, like you do that in your fingernail, you can't feel it, but you push on it, you can feel it. So that's where it's at. Which is funny though, because they were incredibly sensitive and I was able to feel the like light touches after the piercings. And I was like, sweet, I'm gonna keep feeling in my nipples. But like, I didn't even originally have very much feeling there anyways, so it's not new to me that I don't have much feeling. But yeah, it's odd because like when I first got surgery, I felt here. That's where I felt my nipple, and about here-ish. And it was weird because it was like I was having phantom nipple syndrome. Like I could feel it there. Like that's where the nerves for my nipples were. But my nipples were here, and it was really, really weird. But yeah, now it's like, it's weird because it's like this feels like I'm touching my nipple. Like there's like a little lump of tissue back here, and that's where it feels like my nipple. It's directly behind the actual nipple, so I mean it moved and obviously went to the place it's supposed to be. So it's like squeezing that feels like I'm touching my actual nipple, then touching my nipple. But they also like have perfect blood flow to them. When I get cold, they get hard. Like they work the way they're supposed to, so I'm not worried about them. And maybe eventually in the future I'll have more feeling to them, or if I don't, I honestly don't mind that much. That wasn't a big goal of mine, because like I said before, I didn't really have much feeling in my nipples before surgery, so it wasn't a big thing for me. But yeah, now I'm 9 months later. I can lift my arms above my head very easily. I can do like pull-ups and stuff. Like I don't have any issues in that department. Occasionally, like doing this, they feel a little tight, like a little stretched. But like that, I just need to do scar massages a little more often. Probably buy myself some more silicone tapes, and then I'll be fine. And yeah, it was honestly, it was great. It was, healing from it was totally fine. I felt amazing afterwards. I had a little breakdown when I first got home. It was like 3 days after I got home. But that was just like emotions yet flooding in, getting all stressed out again. I was back to like the real world, dealing with the stress of having been fired from my job 2 weeks before surgery, and all of that. Even though I was planning on quitting anyways, so like there was just a lot of stress coming back home, and so like I had a meltdown. But I'm fine now. My depression has been at its absolute best it's ever been in my life, so that's great. No attempts since that like third day home. So yeah, like life has been great. It was definitely the right decision for me to make. I do not regret it an ounce. I couldn't have asked for better results. I mean, that looks really nice. I do occasionally get people who are confused and ask me about my scars, and like if they're little kids, I like to go on like a stupid story about how like I was in a sword fight with someone and they like slashed me. And they're like, whoa, that's so cool. That's my go-to like make-believe story. But like if I know it's someone like actually asking, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, I got surgery with Dr. Gallagher over in Miami. Like you can find her on TikTok and Instagram. But yeah, so it's everything about my top surgery. If you have any more questions, comment them down below. I am more than willing to answer them. If there's enough, I'll make another video. I'm willing to talk about changes that I've seen being on testosterone. I'm willing to talk about my hysterectomy.